Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. Yep. 51 minutes after the hour. Coffee with Faraway Dog and Carlos Alzraki, who's had his energy shot.
I've got it with me just in case. I got a long morning.
That was Confused Fly and Masturbating Fetus and Faraway Dog all in one.
Jane the Virgin next Monday. My episode.
Sweet.
Not my episode. An episode I'm on. I hate that one. My episode. I was like, you're in it for 4 minutes. Yeah, it's my episode.
It's my episode.
I was in it for 5 minutes.
Twitter is abuzz with comments about last caller, Paul.
Yes.
Very good call.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Women Speak Up says, Paul was awesome to listen to. Thank you for giving him so much time. And Paul, thank you for your service. And Jennifer writes, great call with the soldier. Made me think of PTSD in a new way. Very sad.
My wife was watching the American. Of course, I'm so confused that my crappy joke is you have kids, Nickelodeons all on the time. You don't know where you are. I think I watched American Swiper. No swiping. It's a bad pun.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yes, all right.
Sorry.
Tony in L.A., you're on with Carlos. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
Good. Hello.
Good. I was just saying, that caller got to me, too. My brother went to Vietnam when he was 17. He's been done ever since. And what I was telling Travis is it's a racial imaging thing, because honestly, when I saw the movie, I still can identify with the Iraqi people quicker, only because of my sensitivities of being a black person here. Think about how black men have died in wars and couldn't even sit by a soldier, get a cup of coffee, and you dying on a field just like they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think he also was talking about, Muslim extremists, just like we have Christian extremists in this country, because when he said, I don't believe in throwing gay people off buildings, it's like, well, neither do we, right? So that's not a Muslim way of life. That's an Islamic extremist.
Right. But I can understand how he's not, in his head, he's not able to distinguish, the two, and that any Muslim person would be a trigger for him. Unfortunately, I can understand that.
In his defense, almost in his defense, is the sense, like I said, the imaging goes so deep. Mm-hmm. Just like we were saying, when it's the other, when it's the enemy, when it's the thing you're supposed to hate. You know what I mean? You just do. I mean, it's just like being a soldier. You're a killer.
Yep.
I mean,
you're turned into a robot.
Say service and everything else, but you can't turn it on and turn it off. Mm-hmm. Once you lose a part of your humanity like that, when you have to take a life of another human being, there's a part of that you lose. So you have to attach it to something to rationalize it in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm saying where, the imaging, it's because they're the darker ones. They're the whoever, you attach it to that. You're not looking at religion. You're not looking at what levels of that. Just like the Klan over here. We have the Ku Klux Klan is a terrorist, Christian organization.
That's right.
Even they don't, we don't react to them exactly in the same way, with that same type of hatred.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I said, that's your coping mechanism. That's how you stay sane.
No, and I also think, this debate, Tony, that, American Sniper wrote, I don't think any soldier is automatically a hero or a coward. You know what I mean? This debate has gotten so sort of, there was, the guy that, what's his name, shot up the what do you call it? The village of, with all the innocent, the women and children and all that, but you know what I'm saying? And then there are obviously soldiers that get Purple Hearts because they absolutely, risk themselves to save others in the so I think, it's just the debate has gotten so like...
Yeah, I think that's stupid because like I said, until you're there, until you're walking in their shoes, like I said, you're there to survive.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And, you know what I mean? Yeah. Either way, but by the same token, you become a killer.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. It is what it is.
I think the movies being made ever since Platoon, the movies, or maybe even before, the movies that are being made about what it's like to be in combat, trying to depict war as naturally as they can, aside from a documentary, are kind of startling to people because it used to be the John Wayne movies, The Bridge over the River Kwai and Lawrence of Arabia. It didn't nothing is glorifying war like it used to. You're trying to get people to feel. And still, I think we're leading to is, why are we there? Why really did we go into Iraq?
Interesting on
when
the
it
subject.
had nothing to do with 9/11, and that's and or
no, guys like the he that just called, they signed up. Many signed up because of 9/11.
Right.
You know, and
he
and
re-enlisted because of 9/11.
Right, but then got sent into Iraq, which had nothing to do with 9/11, and that's the main problem I have with. And again, the only problem I have with American Sniper, I didn't see it, but just knowing that they really whitewashed it, was like, 9/11 happened, and then we're in Iraq. There's nothing. George Bush isn't mentioned. Weapons of mass destruction.
That wasn't the point of the movie.
That wasn't the point of the movie. No, it was to get him there.
Right.
I just strongly recommend the Pat Tillman story, which was out about 4 years ago. It again tells the story of Pat Tillman, ex-Arizona Cardinal. Gave up football because of 9/11, went to Afghanistan. Then right in the middle of it, he finds out, oh my God, we're going to Iraq. What's going on?
Right.
He made sure to tell his family, please don't let this administration try to make a hero out of me. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And once he was dead, and they tried to make this lying hero story, lied about the friendly fire, his family fought against the Pentagon,
That's right.
against the government,
good for them.
and still continue to fight to this day, actually.
Interesting, John Kerry talking. We just after this last
today we are witnessing nothing more than a form of criminal anarchy, a nihilism which illegitimately claims an ideological and religious foundation. Obviously, the biggest error that we could make would be to blame Muslims collectively for crimes not committed by Muslims alone.
There you go. But it's interesting because that's the point I was trying to make. And you're right. I understand his experience is going to be
sure,
but that's part of the problem.
I'm going to agree with Sam Harris and Bill Maher that it's slightly different when you branch out into fanaticism. When you go to Saudi Arabia and government sanctions public lashings for writing something about the Prophet Muhammad, that's governmental. That's not extremism,
and
right?
President Obama was there on a day they beheaded someone for just a tiny little infraction of something.
It's a little different.
Senator Rand Paul took time out from his job at Farrell's serving
They
ice
need
cream.
to be working against radical Islam. They need to quit funding radical Islamic schools in our country and around the world, and they need to actually send ground troops in to help us fight ISIS.
Talking about Saudi Arabia. All right, 58 minutes after the hour. Now Carlos is here. That was
I'm here.
Rehearsal. Now it's time for the show. Masturbating Fetus is getting ready for Coffee with Carlos on the Stephanie Miller Show. Oh, by the way, she told a story about hanging out at a gun show with Chris Kyle's wife, whose name she got wrong. So I guess they're very close. She called her his widow.
Called her Tara.
Tara. Okay. Well, she'll always have Tara apparently, but that's not her name. It's actually Taya. Anyway, but yes, you said the irony of her meeting Ms. Kyle at a gun show is thick, considering Chris Kyle was shot and killed at a gun range by another veteran.
That's
right. And then she got in trouble for she found the guy with the sign that she loved that said, "You, Michael Moore," with a crosshair in the O, which is, And she said, I'm like, oh, man, let me call him up front. You know, he's holding the poster, and I'm looking at it. He's showing it to me. Look at all the G's that just died in the service of that sentence. Of course, pictures started snapping, because I'm giving the poster the old thumbs up. So
pictures started snapping.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This just makes me laugh and laugh and laugh. Of course, pictures started snapping. I'm giving the poster the old thumbs up.
Wow. And you say the poster also suggested shooting Michael Moore. Is that what, Palin thinks he deserves? Because he said, we've taken a lot of heat over the last 2 days for being seen with this photo with a 4-letter message to Michael Moore that he deserves. Wow. Yeah. One would
conveniently didn't mention the crosshair. She didn't mention that at all. And I thought that was the real key to the whole poster. That it was, by the way, a Medal of Honor winner created that, or Medal of Honor recipient created that poster.
Oh, and then, by the way, you caught her in a total lie when she was talking about Trigg standing on the dog. She said, PETA barking their tired old death threats against us, and I'm thinking, get in line, weasels. Okay, so PETA has never issued a death threat.
They don't do that.
No. I still don't understand the whole turning a stumbling block into a stepping stool. I don't understand the metaphor. Is the dog the stumbling block? I thought the dog was there to help Trigg. I didn't think the dog was at all a hurdle to overcome in Trigg's life. The dog is there to help him. I don't get. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell she meant by that. What is the stumbling block?
Right. Well, the fact that he had intact ribs that remained unbroken until, I guess, Trigg stepped on him. Okay.
Wow.
And then this sentence, she said, and of course, Congressman Steve King, my goodness, Steve, very strong. He going rogue there in D.C. That's an actual...
He going rogue?
He going rogue?
And as you wrote, Steve Strong, he rogue, fire bad.
Bob wins. Bob wins.
Yeah, Bob wins. Definitely.
I love this line. This line has been like an earworm ever since Sunday when I heard it. It has been cycling around in my brain. I keep thinking, she's very strong. He going rogue. That is if you were to pinpoint the centerpiece of any Sarah Palin speech as being sort of the thing that would go on her gravestone.
Right.
It's got to be Steve very strong. Keep going rogue.
Right.
There's a rhythm to the stupidity.
And what is with the bias? The bias against the word is. Is it that hard to just put a word in between?
Know.
Okay. All right. And I think we all can agree that fire bad. Okay.
Smash rock.
Yes. Mongo, hey, Mongo, smash. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, so this was to do with President Obama. She said, and I'm quoting exactly because Bob very helpfully provides the actual sentence that
he does
she
the
said.
transcripting.
Because they know that he who was the one now with tea time on the mind, he is so over it.
No,
wait.
My God. And you just write, I don't, huh?
Can you repeat that? Wow.
Because they know he who was the one now with tea time on the mind, he is so over it.
I think she just is missing.
I just love Bob starts that thing with just a bunch of question marks.
Yeah.
There's no except a bunch of question marks. I got to emphasize that the transcript is exactly as delivered. There are no typos in there. I didn't accidentally drop any words, and I made absolutely sure to get it precisely the way she was speaking it, and it still came out because they know that he who was the one now with tea time on the mind, he's still over it.
Somebody must understand it.
Well, it's like Saturday Night Live was able to use just the actual transcript from the Katie Couric. They didn't have to write anything. It was. So then she said, and how will they axe Obamacare when it started as Hillary Care? When will they let us control our own care?
Huh?
First of all, as you say it, Hillary Care has nothing to do with Obamacare.
Nothing.
It's actually started as Romney Care. And then, okay. All right, that's not important now. Yeah. Then she pulled a prop, as she does, the Time magazine cover, right, with the Can Anyone Stop Hillary? And she said, now the press asks, can anyone stop Hillary? This is to forego a conclusion, right?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, no.
No. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts my heart.
You say to be really generous. Perhaps she was struggling to say it's a foregone conclusion that Hillary Clinton will win the 2016 election. But because her brain was surgically removed and replaced with a tiny donkey napping under a tree, it came out like that.
I can't even grammar police that. It's there. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way to do it. You'll end up in some sort of vortex of pain and suffering.
Like a K-hole.
To structure these sentences. They're not even sentences. Well, this is to forego a conclusion. There's no way anyone with a brain in their head can figure out what the hell she's talking about there. And I really, really tried. I tried, honest to God.
That vision of a little tiny donkey taking a nap instead of a brain, that's going to help me through the next few speeches of hers. I'm going to be like, leave her alone. Her brain is a little tiny donkey taking a nap under a tree. Okay, now this is good because there's just a lot of stuff. She said, okay, really, it's kind of Orwellian observing how that works, that rule of Saul Alinsky's, no doubt that the left employs disgusting charges from the left that reverse them. What?
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like I took an actual line of English, translated it to German using the Google Translate.
Right.
Yes. German and translated the German back to English.
Right.
In Google Translate.
Or just like when Siri gets something totally wrong. Just what? No, that has okay. And then the finger thing really got us going this morning. We, for it is they who point a finger, not realizing that they have triple the amount of fingers pointing right back at them, revealing that they are the ones that really discriminate and divide on color and class and sex. That's a lot of